Welcome to Fabloria, where we listen, we relax, and we enjoy timeless fairy tale stories. In the peaceful kingdom of Eldergrove, there lived a wise but aging ruler named King Rowan. For many years he had governed his land with justice and kindness, and his people loved him deeply. However, time had taken its toll. The king had grown extremely ill, and despite the efforts of the finest healers in the kingdom, his condition worsened with every passing day. As his strength faded, King Rowan called for his only son, Prince Elias, to sit beside his bed. With a trembling voice, the king shared his final wish. He desired one simple thing before his last breath: to taste warm broth made from wild forest rabbits, believing it would ease his pain and give him peace. Prince Elias, whose heart overflowed with love for his father, promised to fulfill this wish at any cost. Without delay, he prepared himself and set out alone toward the vast Greenwood Forest, a place known for its beauty as well as its dangers. The forest path was quiet, wrapped in mist and whispering leaves. As Elias walked deeper into the woods, something unusual happened. A small, snow-white rabbit suddenly leapt out from the bushes and darted across the path in front of him. The rabbit's eyes shimmered with intelligence, almost as if it wanted to be followed. Driven by instinct and urgency, Elias chased after it. The rabbit was unbelievably fast, weaving between trees and rocks, leading him farther and farther into the forest until the familiar path disappeared entirely. Suddenly, the rabbit vanished into a dark hole hidden beneath twisted roots. Without hesitation, Elias climbed down after it. What he discovered below was not a simple burrow, but a massive underground cavern glowing faintly with unnatural light. At the far end of the cave sat a terrifying figure upon a throne made of dark crystal, a shadow enchantress feared in ancient legends. Her presence alone sent chills through Elias's body. The enchantress said with a cruel smile, "So, you thought you could steal my little creature. Instead, I have claimed you." Before Elias could react, she raised her hand, and powerful magic wrapped around him, locking him inside an iron cage that floated above the ground. Panic filled his heart as he wondered how he could ever escape and return to his dying father. Hours passed in silence until the sound of a key turning echoed through the cavern. The cage door opened, and standing before him was the most breathtaking young woman Elias had ever seen. Her eyes sparkled like moonlight on water, and her presence felt warm and gentle, unlike the cold magic of the cave. "I am the rabbit you followed. My name is Lyra. By day, the enchantress's curse forces me into animal form. Only at night do I become myself again." Lyra explained that freeing Elias had put her in terrible danger, but she could not allow him to suffer for her fate. She urged him to leave before dawn, warning that if he stayed, he would only ever see a rabbit again and lose his chance to escape. With deep gratitude and sorrow, Elias followed her advice and fled through a hidden passage that led him back to the forest. When he finally reached the palace, it was too late. Black banners hung from the walls. His father, King Rowan, had already passed away. Grief shattered Elias's heart. After the funeral, he could no longer bear to stay in the palace filled with memories. He left his royal identity behind, exchanging his fine clothes with a poor fisherman by the riverbank. In return, he received simple garments and an old fishing net. As days turned into weeks, Elias survived by fishing. Soon he realized the net was enchanted. No fish could escape it. Fate had armed him without his knowledge. One evening he arrived at a bustling city celebrating a grand festival. Each day the royal announcer proclaimed that their princess was the most beautiful woman in the world. Elias remembered Lyra. Disguised as a wandering magician, he spoke aloud that he knew of a woman far more beautiful. His words reached the king's ears, and Elias was dragged before the throne. "If you cannot prove your claim, you will lose your life," King declared. Elias asked for 2 weeks. He returned to the forest, searching desperately for Lyra. At last he discovered a magnificent palace surrounded by golden sunflowers. An elderly woman greeted him, tears in her eyes. She told him the truth. The enchantress had imprisoned Lyra in a cage, throwing her into the ocean each night. Without fear, Elias rushed to the sea, carrying the magical net. He dove deep into the dark waters, where monstrous fish circled. With one powerful throw, he trapped them all, freeing Lyra from her cage. Together, they returned to the kingdom. On the day of judgment, Elias revealed Lyra before the court. Her beauty and presence silenced everyone. The king admitted defeat. Elias and Lyra returned home, married in a joyful celebration, and ruled with kindness. The enchantress was never seen again, and peace finally returned to the land.